This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good night, Amy Segami. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful night?
Wonderful, and Kiel. From Chicago by Lake Michigan to wherever you are. Are you by the blue water right now?
I am. I'm by Trinidad and Tobago right now, my friend. Specifically Trinidad.
Okay. Greetings to the sunshine.
How's the weather there right now?
Cold, bitter, cold.
Oh my. Well, we do have that email saved. That's necessary if you ask me to send to you, which is filled with Caribbean sunshine. So do let me know. I can always send that for you, yeah?
Yes, I have been through your blue water and many other places that have beautiful sunshine. So it's always in the memory.
Well, yeah, do tell us. Tell us which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this specific time in history.
I believe it is through Bobby Carson with the Innovation Woman that you reach out.
I did, yeah, but I'm guessing there's something you do special that allowed us to connect at this time in life.
Well, perhaps we can start out with the water. Here in Chicago, we have the snow, and which will turn into water in your surrounding your island.
Definitely. Now, you do a ton of things, right? Like
yes.
you paint one, right?
Not just any painting. It's painting on water.
My apologies. Yes.
Yeah.
Painting on water. I love that. As well as you're an amazing speaker as well.
Well, thank you.
Who did you... Now, from what I've seen, right? Well, you tell us a bit of what you do, especially the painting on water. I think that will definitely captivate our audience.
Well, I'm curious amongst your listeners right now, if they think it's painting on water that they have heard about, or could they imagine what it might be? Because typically, people would ask me, the first question is, how? They want to know how. How I do it is using water as canvas. Traditionally, people paint on paper, on sand, on canvas. Whereas before there's paper, sand, and canvas, where do we paint? We paint on water. We paint on water with the reflection. We paint on water with the imagination. And I was extremely lucky that able to apply all my studies and experimentation and research work from the wind tunnel and water table. When I was doing my fluid mechanical engineering study, I was able to apply all those principles to an ancient art of Sumi Nagashi, which translates literally is ink on water. And I contemporize it, I modify it, and improvise it. So now it's called painting on water.
That's wonderful. That's pretty amazing. Now, where did the speaking start?
Speaking starts when people say, how do you paint on water? And then it turned into what and how and why and who, etc.
Which definitely can get responses, and specifically responses that sound scientific, right? Or scientific, right? But your responses are one that are painted with humor. Who did you learn that from?
I wonder. I think probably because I have very, very boring scientific teachers growing up all the way to college days, all the way to my majority of my colleagues in corporations. Scientists and engineers have this reputation of being boring and dry and, not so interesting. And so I specifically look into that development.
You did well. It's like painting on water, isn't it? Metaphorically, even the speaking amongst what we can call water, being the scientists and the other theoretical professors, if you would. But you get to come in there and, again, apply the art of your experience in conversation. It's amazing how you do it.
Well, thank you so much. And part of it is about making waves. If you just kind of, smooth sailing, bobbing on the water, it's kind of boring. Whereas if you throw a couple pebbles, you create ripples and you create interesting effects. And I think speaking is the same way too.
Yeah, you're amazing. You're amazing. Now, where's the best place for people to check out your stuff?
Well, one is Google the name, Amy Lee Segami. And by the way, Segami is images spelled backward.
Yeah, definitely check out her TED Talk on I think it was in Chicago where you were speaking.
No, actually, it was the inaugural TEDx event in Atlanta. So it was TEDx Peachtree.
Okay. Yeah. I saw one where you were speaking I think it was Chicago, where you were speaking on your name and how your name betrayed you.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that was the moth. It was a moth, and interestingly, unexpectedly, I actually won the moth story slam. So people could take a look at that or listen to it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Well, tell me one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years, please.
For the last 3 years, I got in. Okay, I've been by this TED Talk bug, so to speak. And after my very first TED Talk, being invited as a speaker, I was so amazed at the experience that I ended up being a founder and executive producer for the TEDxIIT at my alma mater. So for the last, 7 years consistently, I use that as an experiential base to mentor students as well as building relationship with the community.
How does that make you feel looking back from now to then, 7 years ago to today? How does that make you feel?
It's very much, we draw experiences on what we already know, which in this case, what I know well is painting on water. People will say it can't be done. It's like, well, give a try, find a way, problem solving, right? That's what engineers do. And looking back, I did not expect nor envision how it could be, but I know there's a way. And you know how water moves? Water does not have a 20-year strategic planning. It just knows that it needs to go forward. It wants to go forward. And looking back with the project that I picked up, TEDxIIT, it was very much that way. And now we have done 5 of the TED Talk idea pitch. Is to help people to be able to craft their idea much better so that they can fulfill their dream of doing a TED Talk someday.
I love it. Suggest to someone that's listening, Amy, why they should even consider doing what you've done by believing. It seems as though by having hope in something that doesn't even seem possible.
So you're asking why they should do that?
Yeah. Why would you suggest they do that?
Why would I suggest that? I think by being an interesting person is to be interested at others and things that you haven't done before. So I always talk about step out of your comfort zone. And I walk my talk by doing things that I haven't done before. And I would invite your listener who tends to be very outwardly thinking and progressive and very much socially conscious. It's when they think of something, have an idea that will be beneficial for others, go ahead. It could be a baby step. It could be like one drop at a time. Start doing something. Look at you. You start with 12 minutes conversation and then you build 1,001 and then you're going to do the multiply it, right? So the RV talk and so on and so forth. So just start out by 1 and then plus 1. That would be the formula that I would hope everybody would remember. It's plus 1.
Love it. Amazing audience. Again, you're hearing it live from Amy Lee Segami. You can just Google that name. You'll definitely find her. She's all over the internet. All over the internet. Well, Amy,
Oh, thank you.
you're welcome. Let's switch gears for a moment. Now, let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Amy, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Well, it's no secret. I share that on the TEDx stage, and I share that often. It was back to what I was saying about plus one. My childhood memory was when I came back from the daycare center, and I had a complicated family structure. So on the first floor, I had the number one grandma, and she did not care about me. She scolded me. She said, we don't have granddaughters in the house. I grew up in China, and that still, it's changed now, but back in those days, girls have no value, not worth the price of rice. And I remembered that I endured that because I have to go upstairs. I went to the second floor with my second grandma, chastised me, said I was an ugly creature, that they have no need for someone like me. I endured that, and by the time I climbed up to the third level, there was a woman welcoming me, and that was my mother's mother, my maternal grandmother, and that she accepted me as a girl, that I could be something of value and be somebody. So the memory that I often share with people is that go ahead, you endure, you overcome resistance, naysay, whatever, just keep going. Eventually, you will get to a place where everything will be fine.
So how old were you in that memory?
I came back from equivalent of like a daycare center in nursing school in U.S. So I have to be like about 4 or 5 at the most.
How do you see that memory connecting to who you are today?
So I don't give up. If I am reaching a gallery for a show and they reject me, it's like, okay, that would be next one. I'll keep going. And when I reach a certain achievement or success, there'll be the next one. I always think that there's another way, there's another level. Just step up again.
Love it.
Plus one.
Plus one. Love it. Well, you don't need my help to get any interpretation there. I think you've done an amazing job by reflecting on that. That's pretty beautiful. Love it. If we fast forward to, you're welcome. If we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
Well, my favorite song back then was a Chinese song, and the little translation would be Mama Good. And what that means was that mother is the best person in the world, is the kindest, the generous, and now I know it's globally accepted. Mother would be the best person to have. What was striking to me was at that time, I actually became the little mother, taking care of my younger siblings.
That's amazing. It's amazing how it connects, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Send me a link, right, with the traditional song. Yeah, please.
I don't. Okay, I could pop. I'm sure I can Google it on YouTube.
Wonderful. All right, my friend. Well, we've arrived at our destination. But before we get off of this time machine, there is a small declaration form. So it's yes or no. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready?
Sure.
Amy, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Anyone who step up to it, yes.
Are you married?
Nope.
Do you have children?
I adopt children.
Do you believe in God?
There's a higher up.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yes.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
Nope.
How about 3 hours a week?
Nope.
What about screen time, the phone under the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Depends on the day. On game day?
Go ahead on game day. Go ahead, tell me.
Oh, on game day when I'm speaking, there's limited time. Doing my research, there will be a lot of time. So it fluctuates.
Okay. If you had to share with us your own unique, real statement, a statement that represents who you are, Amy Lee Segami, what would you say that is?
I would say there is always a way.
Love it. +1. Love it,
Yep.
love it, love it. Amy, this has been such a great pleasure. Before you
Thank
leave,
you.
you're welcome. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Oh my goodness, this is so much fun for what you're doing, and I hope that I know you are inspiring many, many others to go ahead and have their own idea and implement it. Take action. +1.
Take action. +1. Oh, how I love the +1. I'm telling you. Now, a friend told me if I use it 3 times, it's my own. So, +1, +1, +1. I'm going to.
Can I throw something out for you?
Sure, please.
What is 1 + 1?
1 + 1 is 2.
Okay.
Sometimes 11.
Okay. What else?
Sometimes pi.
Okay. What else?
Sometimes, what would I say again? Humanity. 1 + 1, humanity.
There's so many interpretations, isn't it? The one that I have for you is 1 + 1 is 1,001.
Ooh, I love it. Yeah. Sorry.
It depends how many circles you have between the ones.
Oh my gosh. Wow. I love it.
And that represents, when I'm doing my keynote, I have interactive action. That represents the people connection between 1 and 1 is how many circles you can connect. And the minimum is 1,001. It could be 1,000,001.
Wow. That's wonderful. The first time I set out on my goal, I ended up with 1,001 conversations on that night.
There you
in
go.
2016.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty.
It's
That is
awesome.
amazing. Wow.
Yes.
Well, my
Yes.
friend, again, thank you for that. Amy Segami, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
This segment has been brought to you by Amazel Enterprise.